Ladies and gentlemen, today I want to speak to you about something profound, something that is often misunderstood but undeniably powerful. It is the undeniable mark that many of us carry, whether we recognize it or not. It is the anointing and empowerment, a grace that flows through you with divine purpose. But there is something more. There is a dangerous anointing that rests upon those who are truly destined for greatness. Let me be clear, dangerous does not mean destructive. It means that you are carrying a power so profound that it can alter lives, break chains, and shift atmospheres. This anointing is meant to make an impact, an unshakable mark that will disrupt the status quo and awaken potential in ways that will astound the world. Ordinary. When you are anointed, the ordinary no longer satisfies you. You start to see things differently. Where others see limitations, you see opportunities. Where others see failure, you see lessons for growth. Your presence becomes a disturbance to mediocrity. The systems and structures that once defined your world are now vulnerable to the influence of your vision. You are not a mere spectator, you are an active participant in transforming your environment. This is not arrogance, this is divine purpose at work. When you are truly anointed, your actions will disrupt patterns of complacency and comfort, causing those around you to either rise to a higher level or be left behind. It's not you who creates the disturbance, it's the anointing within you that refuses to settle for less than what is possible. Second sign you face unusual opposition. Let me be very clear about this. When you are anointed, opposition is inevitable. But understand this opposition is a sign that you are in the right direction. If you're not facing any challenges, you may need to reassess whether you are walking in the fullness of your purpose. The anointing on your life attracts opposition, not because you are weak, but because your potential is a threat to the forces that prefer things to remain the same. The greater your anointing, the greater the resistance. But here's the beauty of it, opposition cannot defeat what God has set in motion. When you are dangerously anointed, your enemies will help you grow, sharpen your resolve, and bring you closer to your destiny. So embrace the challenges, they are evidence of the strength you carry. Third sign, you carry a weight of responsibility. The more anointed you become, the greater the weight you must carry. This weight is not a burden, it is an honor. It is the responsibility to influence, to lead, and to guide others toward their own transformation. You may find yourself in situations where you are called to give more, serve more, or stand firm when others falter. You can't turn away from this calling because your anointing demands that you rise to the occasion. This weight is a sign that you are operating in a realm where the stakes are higher. The higher you rise, the more responsibility you must assume. This is not a burden of stress, it is the mantle of leadership, and it will empower you to do things you never thought possible. Your anointing is dangerous because it calls you to do more than just exist, it calls you to change the world. Fourth sign, you begin to see results in the unlikely places. When the anointing is on your life, the impossible becomes possible. Doors that were once closed open. Relationships that were broken begin to heal. Resources that seemed unavailable begin to flow. But what's more, the results you produce often happen in the most unlikely places. You'll find that your efforts, even when they seem small, begin to compound. You may be working in a forgotten corner, a back office, or a community no one else notices. But this is where the dangerous anointing thrives. You see, it's not about the environment, it's about the power you carry to shift the atmosphere. When you are anointed, you can make an impact in places others deem hopeless. You are dangerous because you bring life into dead situations. You experience intense transformation. The final sign of a dangerous anointing is the constant transformation that takes place in your own life. You will never be the same person you were yesterday. The anointing isn't just about what you can do for others, it is about the work that is continually being done in you. As you walk in your purpose, your mind will be renewed, your heart will be refined, and your spirit will be strengthened. You become unrecognizable to the world because the work of the anointing is transforming you from the inside out. People may wonder what happened to you. The truth is, the anointing has taken you to a place where your very existence is a reflection of divine power. Your past struggles, failures, and pains have been transformed into a testimony that proves nothing is impossible for those who are called and chosen. So I challenge you today, recognize the signs of the dangerous anointing on your life. Understand that it's not about you, it's about the purpose for which you were created. You are meant to influence, to disrupt, to lead, and to transform. You are not here to be ordinary, and you are certainly not here to live unnoticed. The world needs your light, your courage, and your vision. You may face resistance, you may walk through valleys of opposition, but remember this, you are anointed to overcome. The dangerous anointing is not for the faint-hearted. It is for those who are willing to step into the unknown, to rise above the limitations of this world, and to become the agents of change they were always meant to be. The world is waiting for you to reveal the power that rests within you. Step into your destiny today, because when you are dangerously anointed, nothing can stop you. When you are dangerously anointed, the ordinary is no longer enough. Something deep within you refuses to settle for what is expected, what is comfortable, or what is familiar. The status quo begins to feel constricting, a limitation rather than a comfort. You see the world differently. What others accept as the way things are, you view as an opportunity for change. You are not satisfied with the way things are, and this discontent propels you to act. You begin to disrupt the ordinary because you have seen a different reality, one that others may not yet understand. This is not about rebellion for the sake of rebellion, but a divine call to transform and elevate what already exists. When you carry an anointing that is dangerous to the systems of the world, you walk in a power that causes disruption, not in a destructive way, but in a way that shakes the foundations of what is considered normal. The ordinary becomes a space for you to challenge, for you to improve, for you to move from the expected to the extraordinary. You are a living example that things don't have to remain the same simply because they always have been. Everywhere you look, you begin to see opportunities to create something new, something better, something more aligned with your vision and purpose. Others might not even notice the gaps, the spaces where things could improve, but your anointing gives you eyes to see them. You notice the inefficiencies, the overlooked details, and the ways in which systems can be transformed for the greater good. It's as if you are able to look beyond the surface and into the heart of things, discerning what needs to shift. This insight is not yours alone. It is a gift from the anointing that rests on you, allowing you to tap into a higher level of awareness. This shift in perception allows you to approach problems with fresh solutions. You do not think like others, nor do you accept their limits. When others talk about what can't be done, you are already thinking of ways to make it possible. Your mind is not bound by the norms of society. You don't conform to what is considered acceptable or ordinary. Where there is a challenge, you see an invitation to innovate, to step out of the conventional, and to offer solutions that others might not even dream of. It is this refusal to accept the ordinary that pushes you to act in ways that defy expectations. The anointing on your life empowers you to be a catalyst for change. Where others are content to let things stay the same, you are moved to step in and make things better. But this power is not about self-promotion or seeking personal glory. It is about fulfilling a higher purpose. The anointing on your life is meant to serve others, to elevate others, to make the world around you a better place. You are not called to maintain the status quo. You are called to challenge it and transform it. There is a certain courage that comes with disrupting the ordinary. You must be willing to stand apart, to be different, to face opposition. When you refuse to conform, when you dare to think and act differently, people will notice. Some will applaud you, but others will resist you. The challenge of disruption is that it often challenges comfort zones. People are more comfortable with the familiar, even if it's flawed, than with the unknown, even if it promises improvement. But when you are anointed, you are not concerned with comfort. You are concerned with fulfillment, fulfilling the purpose for which you were called. Disruption is not about tearing things down for the sake of destruction. It is about breaking through the layers of complacency, opening doors to new possibilities, and creating space for growth. It's about taking what is ordinary and bringing it to a new level of excellence, effectiveness, and innovation. When you disrupt the ordinary, you are essentially breaking free from limitations, rejecting mediocrity, and embracing the greatness that lies within you. You start to see beyond the surface of things and recognize that there is always room for improvement, always space for progress, and always a path to greatness. You begin to recognize that ordinary solutions often only address surface level issues. True disruption goes deeper. It gets to the heart of the problem and seeks long-term, meaningful change. For example, in your work or in your personal life, you might begin to ask questions that others aren't asking. You may challenge the established methods and systems, not because you want to undermine them, but because you see a better way. The anointing allows you to ask those questions that others are too afraid to ask, and to push beyond the boundaries of conventional thinking. It leads you to seek excellence where others are content with good enough, to strive for the extraordinary where others are content with the status quo. In leadership, you are called to challenge your team or your community to break through their limits. You are not there to maintain a routine. You are there to encourage growth, innovation, and transformation. You have been given the vision to see what others cannot see, and it is your responsibility to lead others toward that vision. But leadership in this way requires a willingness to embrace discomfort, to endure the challenge of shaking things up, and to face the inevitable resistance that comes with change. It requires the courage to lead others into uncharted territory, to explore new ways of doing things, and to continually push the boundaries of what is possible. But the anointing gives you something far greater than just the ability to disrupt. It gives you the authority to lead change in a way that brings healing, growth, and life. The anointing doesn't just give you the ability to challenge the ordinary, it empowers you to change the trajectory of those around you. When you step into your calling, when you embrace the anointing on your life, you become a conduit for transformation, not just for yourself, but for your family, your community, and the world. You are called to be a change agent, someone who doesn't just follow the flow, but leads the way. Someone who doesn't settle for what is, but challenges it to become what it can be. This is the power of disruption. It is not the forceful overthrowing of all that is, but the gentle yet persistent push towards something greater. You are not meant to be a passive observer of the ordinary. You are meant to be a dynamic force that transforms it. The world does not need more people who are satisfied with the way things are. The world needs those who are dangerous enough to believe that things can be better, who are willing to take the steps necessary to make that belief a reality. Disrupting the ordinary doesn't always mean making drastic, immediate changes. Sometimes it is about taking small, consistent steps that lead to monumental transformations over time. Sometimes it is about planting seeds in places that others may overlook, trusting that the small disruptions will grow into something much larger. And as you walk in this anointing, you begin to understand that true change doesn't always come in the form of a big, dramatic shift. Sometimes it is the accumulation of many small disruptions that ultimately create the path to lasting transformation. Your anointing gives you the power to see what others cannot, to challenge what others won't, and to lead others to where they've never been before. The disruption you cause is not random or reckless, it is purposeful and divinely inspired. You have been given the vision to see beyond the surface and the courage to act on it. Your life is a living testimony to the fact that you do not have to accept the ordinary. You can disrupt the systems, challenge the limitations, and create a new way forward, all because you carry within you an anointing that refuses to settle for anything less than the greatness you were destined for. When you are dangerously anointed, opposition becomes an inevitable part of your journey. It is not something to be feared, nor should it be something you shrink away from. Instead, it is a clear sign that you are moving in the right direction, that you are walking in the purpose for which you were called. The greater the anointing on your life, the greater the opposition you will face. This opposition is not accidental. It is not a sign that you are doing something wrong. It is a clear confirmation that you are doing something right, something that threatens the comfort of the status quo, something that challenges the limitations that others have accepted. Opposition in this sense is not a barrier, it is a test, a confirmation, and a catalyst. It tests your resilience, your commitment, and your belief in the vision that has been given to you. Every person who has ever achieved greatness has faced opposition, and you are no different. If you are walking in your anointing, you will find that the path is not always smooth, that obstacles will rise up in your way, and that there will be times when the weight of it all feels unbearable. But it is in those moments that your anointing will reveal its true power. It is in those moments of unusual opposition that your strength will emerge, that your purpose will solidify, and that your commitment to your calling will be tested and proven. The opposition you face will not always come in the form of outright confrontation or attacks. Sometimes it will come in the form of subtle distractions, small doubts planted in your mind, or whispers of discouragement from those around you. Sometimes it will manifest in the form of people who don't understand your vision, who question your decisions, or who resist the changes you are trying to make. This opposition can come from family, friends, colleagues, or even strangers. It will often come from those who are closest to you simply because they don't understand the magnitude of the calling on your life. They cannot see the vision that you see, and because of that, they may feel threatened by it. The world often resists change. People are more comfortable with things that are familiar, even if they are flawed, than with the unknown, even if it promises something better. And when you are walking in your anointing, when you are disrupting the ordinary and challenging the status quo, you are calling others to move out of their comfort zones. This is where the opposition comes from. It is not personal, it is simply a reaction to the shift you are causing. But the opposition is not to be feared, for it is through opposition that you will grow. When you face opposition, you must understand that it is a reflection of the impact you are making. If what you are doing were insignificant, if it had no potential to change lives, then there would be no reason for opposition to arise. The fact that you are facing resistance means that you are on the right track. You are shaking things up. You are challenging the way things have always been done. and you are pushing the boundaries of what is possible. You are a threat to the comfort and complacency that others cling to, and as a result, they will resist you. But do not let their resistance deter you. It is proof that you are on the path to greatness. What makes opposition unusual when you are dangerously anointed is the intensity and nature of it. It will often feel overwhelming, relentless, and at times deeply personal. You will face situations that seem impossible to overcome, and it will feel as though the entire world is aligned against you. But the power of your anointing is designed to withstand such pressure. It is in the midst of unusual opposition that your true potential begins to emerge. The fire of opposition is what refines you, what strengthens you, and what shapes you into the person you were always meant to be. This opposition will test your faith. It will test your belief in the vision that has been placed in your heart. When you face opposition, it can be easy to question your purpose, to wonder if you are truly on the right path. You may begin to doubt your abilities or your worthiness to fulfill the calling you have been given. But it is in these moments of doubt that you must remember who you are and whose you are. The anointing on your life is not based on your ability to avoid opposition, but on your capacity to persevere through it. When opposition arises, it often comes with the temptation to compromise, to take shortcuts, or to abandon the vision altogether. You may be tempted to follow the crowd, to do what others expect of you, or to take the easy way out. But the anointing on your life calls you to a higher standard. It calls you to rise above the opposition, to stay true to your purpose, and to trust that the challenges you face will only make you stronger. There will be times when the opposition is not external but internal. Your mind will be filled with doubts, your emotions will be pulled in different directions, and the weight of responsibility may seem too much to bear. But even in those moments, you must remember that the anointing on your life is designed to sustain you. It is designed to give you the strength to keep moving forward, even when the way seems unclear, even when the obstacles seem insurmountable. Unusual opposition will also come in the form of betrayal. Those whom you trust may turn against you, may doubt you, or may even work actively against you. This can be one of the hardest forms of opposition to face because it strikes at the very heart of your trust in others. But remember that betrayal does not define you. It reveals the character of those who betray you, not the strength of your anointing. The anointing on your life is what will enable you to rise above betrayal, to forgive, and to continue walking in your purpose despite the hurt. The deeper you go into your calling, the more intense the opposition will become. As you begin to move toward your destiny, as you begin to fulfill the purpose that has been assigned to you, you will encounter resistance at every turn. But you must remember that every challenge, every piece of opposition is an opportunity to grow. It is an opportunity to become stronger, wiser, and more focused on the path ahead. The opposition you face will not destroy you, it will build you. It will mold you into the person you need to be in order to fully step into your purpose. As you face unusual opposition, remember that the opposition is not a sign of failure, it is a sign of success. It is a sign that you are doing something worth doing, that you are making a difference, and that your anointing is having an impact. When you are dangerously anointed, opposition is not something to fear, it is something to embrace. For it is through the opposition that you will rise to greater heights. Understand, this opposition is part of the process. It is not a detour, it is the way. It is through facing the challenges, the doubts, and the resistance that you will truly discover the power of your anointing. It is in the fire that the gold is purified, and it is in the face of opposition that your true strength will be revealed. The greater the opposition, the greater the anointing, and the greater the victory. So when you face unusual opposition, don't be discouraged, stand firm, trust in the process. Know that it is through the opposition that you will fulfill your purpose and fulfill the calling that has been placed on your life. When you are dangerously anointed, you will find that the weight of responsibility is one of the most significant challenges you will face. It is not simply a matter of personal success or accomplishment. It is a matter of fulfilling a purpose that is larger than yourself. This weight is not something to be taken lightly. It is not something to be shrugged off or avoided. Instead, it is something that must be carried with strength, wisdom, and grace. The responsibility that comes with an anointing is not a burden that should weigh you down. Rather, it is a mantle that must be embraced with reverence and commitment. To carry the weight of responsibility is to accept the full scope of your calling, knowing that your actions will affect not just your life, but the lives of others. It is to recognize that the choices you make, the paths you take, and the decisions you follow will have consequences far beyond what you can see. The anointing on your life gives you a platform, a purpose, and a mission, but it also places on you the duty to act in a way that aligns with your higher calling. The more you are trusted with, the more responsibility you must take on. And with this responsibility comes an overwhelming sense of duty and understanding that you are not living for yourself, but for the greater good. When you carry this weight, it can sometimes feel like an impossible task. The pressures will mount, the challenges will come, and the temptations to turn away from your mission will always be present. You may feel inadequate, unqualified, or simply too small to bear the enormity of what you have been called to do. But you must remember that the weight of responsibility is not designed to crush you. It is not there to overwhelm you or break your spirit. It is there to refine you, to mold you into the person who can carry the mantle with dignity and purpose. The anointing on your life comes with a promise that as you carry the weight of responsibility, you will be strengthened and the grace to fulfill your calling will be made available to you. One of the most difficult aspects of carrying this weight is the knowledge that it often requires you to make sacrifices. The anointing on your life demands that you put aside personal desires, distractions, and the need for comfort. It calls you to a higher standard of living, one that requires discipline, focus, and a deep commitment to the vision that has been given to you. You cannot carry the weight of responsibility if you are living for yourself, constantly seeking validation or indulging in self-centered pleasures. Instead, you must learn to walk in humility, putting the needs of others before your own, understanding that your actions are not just for your benefit, but for the benefit of those you have been called to serve. This weight also means that you must walk in integrity at all times. When you are dangerously anointed, you cannot afford to live a life of hypocrisy. The weight of responsibility requires that your actions align with your words, that your character matches the calling you claim to carry. It is easy to preach or speak about responsibility, about purpose, about vision, but it is a different thing entirely to live it. You cannot afford to be one thing in public and another in private. The responsibility you carry is a public trust, and the way you live your life will either validate or invalidate the message you are meant to share with the world. As you carry this weight, you will also encounter isolation. The more you step into your anointing, the more you may find that those around you do not understand or appreciate the weight you are bearing. People may not see the sacrifices you are making, the sleepless nights, the difficult decisions, and the personal struggles that come with your calling. They may not understand why you cannot always be there for them or why you seem so distant or preoccupied. The burden of responsibility often means that you will have to make hard choices, choices that may not always be popular or well understood by others. But you must be resolute in your commitment to your mission, knowing that the weight you carry is not for others to understand, but for you to fulfill. Carrying this weight also means you must have the courage to lead in the face of uncertainty. When you are carrying an anointing, you are often called to step out into the unknown, to blaze a trail where others have never walked before. The weight of responsibility demands that you take risks, that you make decisions that others may not agree with, and that you take actions that require tremendous faith. But this is the nature of leadership. True leadership is not about comfort or security. It is about taking bold steps, about being willing to face opposition, criticism, and failure in order to fulfill a higher calling. And as you take those steps, you will find that the weight of responsibility becomes lighter because you are walking in the strength and confidence of the anointing that has been placed upon your life. There will also be times when you question whether you are strong enough to carry this weight. You will feel the pressure of the responsibility pressing down on you, and it will seem as if you cannot go another step. During these times, it is crucial that you remember that you do not have to carry the weight alone. The anointing that has been placed on your life is not just a personal gift, it is a divine empowerment that provides you with everything you need to fulfill your purpose. In moments of weakness, when the weight seems unbearable, you will find strength in the presence of the divine, in the quiet assurance that you are not walking this path by yourself. The weight is heavy, yes, but it is a weight that has been designed for you, and the strength to carry it will always be provided. There are times when you will want to quit, to walk away, or to let go of the responsibility you are carrying. But the weight of responsibility is often the very thing that pushes you toward your breakthrough. It is the pressure that refines you, that forces you to grow, and that shapes you into the person you need to be in order to handle the fullness of your calling. If you run from the weight, you run from the opportunity to become the person you were meant to be. You run from the chance to impact the world, to fulfill your purpose, and to leave a legacy that will last far beyond your time. When you are carrying the weight of responsibility, it is essential that you do so with a sense of urgency. Time is precious, and every moment that you waste in doubt, hesitation, or fear is a moment that you could be using to fulfill your purpose. You cannot afford to waste time because the world is waiting for you to step into your calling. The people you are meant to serve are waiting for you to embrace your responsibility. And when you step into your anointing with confidence and clarity, you will find that the weight of responsibility becomes a driving force, a source of motivation that propels you forward. The weight of responsibility is not something to shy away from. It is not something to fear. It is something to embrace. When you carry the weight of responsibility, you carry the power to change lives, to influence others, and to leave a lasting mark on the world. This responsibility will push you to be the best version of yourself, to rise above mediocrity, and to walk in a way that reflects the greatness that is within you. And as you carry this weight with humility, grace, and strength, you will find that the anointing that is upon your life will continue to grow, continue to empower, and continue to guide you toward the fulfillment of your divine purpose. When you are dangerously anointed, one of the most profound experiences you will encounter is the discovery that results come from places you never imagined. You will find that your greatest breakthroughs, your most unexpected victories, and your moments of profound growth often emerge from the unlikeliest of circumstances. In fact, sometimes the places where you least expect results are the very places where the greatest things happen. This can be both an encouraging and humbling realization. The anointing on your life opens doors that you never thought possible. But it also leads you down paths that may seem uninviting, unexpected, or even counterproductive at first glance. The key is to understand that when you are called for a purpose greater than yourself, the ordinary rules of success do not always apply. It is easy to expect results from the places where you are most comfortable, where you have established yourself and have built a track record of success. These are the environments that make sense. These are the places where you feel in control, where your skills and efforts seem to yield the most consistent results. However, when you are dangerously anointed, you will find that true breakthroughs often happen in places that defy logic, in circumstances that seem counterintuitive, and in situations where the odds appear stacked against you. The anointing shifts your perception, enabling you to see opportunity where others see obstacles. It empowers you to find potential in the places where others would give up, walk away, or dismiss the possibility of success. The idea of seeing results in unlikely places starts with the understanding that the anointing does not require the typical markers of success. The world tells you that in order to see results, you must have the right resources, the right connections, and the right circumstances. It tells you that success is built upon the foundation of what you already have, what you can control, and what is predictable. But when you are anointed, you will quickly learn that your results are not determined by what the world tells you is necessary. Instead, they are determined by the divine purpose at work in your life, a purpose that often leads you to places where the world's standards do not apply. The resources you need, the connections you seek, and the circumstances you long for will all be provided, not through your own ability to manipulate the situation, but through your willingness to walk by faith, trusting that the results will come even when the path does not seem clear. A key aspect of seeing results in unlikely places is learning to recognize the opportunity in adversity. The anointing gives you the ability to turn challenges into stepping stones, to use obstacles as opportunities for growth. Where others may see defeat or failure, you will learn to see possibilities. This is because when you are dangerously anointed, you begin to understand that the hardships you face are not setbacks, they are setups for greater things. The challenges in your life are not obstacles standing in the way of your success. They are the very tools that will refine you, shape your character, and prepare you for the greatness that lies ahead. Every difficult moment, every unexpected twist, and every instance of opposition is a chance for you to prove the power of your anointing. The results that come from these moments may not look like what you expect, but they will be the results that are needed to move you closer to your true purpose. Consider the way great leaders and pioneers throughout history have achieved success. In many cases, their greatest results came from places that seemed barren, desolate, or hopeless at first. They did not have the benefit of a clear path or a defined roadmap to success. They did not always have the resources or support they needed. And yet, through perseverance, faith, and an unwavering belief in their purpose, they were able to achieve results that changed the course of history. Their successes did not come from obvious places or easy circumstances. Instead, they came from unlikely places, from unexpected challenges, and from environments that seemed to be the most unlikely breeding grounds for greatness. This is the same reality that you will face when you are dangerously anointed. You may find yourself in situations that seem to be working against you rather than for you. You may encounter people who do not understand your vision or dismiss your potential. You may find that the resources you need are scarce, the opportunities are limited, and the road ahead is unclear. And yet, it is precisely in these moments of uncertainty that the anointing will shine brightest. The results you seek are often not found by taking the easiest or most obvious route. Instead, they are found in places where you must rely on your faith, your creativity, and your ability to see beyond the immediate circumstances. It is in these spaces where the anointing can work in powerful and unexpected ways. There are moments in life when you may feel as though you are in a season of waiting, a season where nothing seems to be happening, where results are elusive, and where progress feels stalled. During these times, it can be easy to lose heart and question whether the anointing on your life is truly at work. But it is during these times that you must remember that results do not always come in the form you expect. The fruit of your labor may not appear immediately or in the way you envision. The anointing on your life is working in ways that you cannot yet see. The results are coming, but they are likely to appear in places you did not anticipate, in ways that are beyond your comprehension. When you are dangerously anointed, the timing of your results is often a divine mystery. You must trust that the process is unfolding exactly as it should, and that every step, every challenge, and every detour is part of the greater plan. One of the most powerful aspects of seeing results in unlikely places is the lesson it teaches you about persistence and patience. The journey of fulfillment is not always immediate, and the results you seek may not manifest overnight. There are times when you will have to wait, times when you will have to endure setbacks, and times when you will have to keep moving forward without knowing what lies ahead. But it is in these moments of waiting and enduring that the greatest results are often forged. The ability to remain steadfast, to continue believing even when you cannot yet see the outcome, is one of the hallmarks of being dangerously anointed. The results that come from this level of persistence are not simply the fruits of your labor, they are the manifestation of your faith, the proof that the anointing is working in ways that are beyond your understanding. When you begin to see results in unlikely places, you also learn the importance of stepping outside of your comfort zone. The anointing does not operate within the boundaries of what is familiar and easy. Instead, it pushes you to venture into new territories, to explore places and opportunities that you might otherwise have ignored. The results you seek are often hidden in places that require you to take risks, to trust your instincts, and to embrace the unknown. You will be called to step beyond the ordinary and into the extraordinary, to find new ways of thinking, acting, and perceiving that open up new doors and new possibilities. The anointing will lead you to places where you would never have gone on your own, and it will reveal results that you never would have imagined. Finally, seeing results in unlikely places teaches you the power of vision. The anointing opens your eyes to possibilities that others cannot see. While others may look at a situation and see failure, you will look at that same situation and see opportunity. The anointing gives you the ability to see beyond the surface, to recognize the potential in people, in circumstances, and in places that others have written off. This vision allows you to create results where none seem possible, to turn the impossible into the possible, and to see success even in the most unlikely of places. When you are dangerously anointed, your vision becomes a powerful tool that allows you to navigate through life with clarity, purpose, and direction, finding results where others only see darkness. When you are dangerously anointed, one of the most profound and inevitable experiences you will undergo is intense personal transformation. It is a metamorphosis that goes beyond the surface, reaching deep into the core of who you are. This transformation is not only about your actions or external circumstances changing, but it touches your very identity, your belief systems, and your relationship with the world around you. The anointing, as it works through you, begins to chip away at the parts of your character, your mindset, and your habits that no longer serve your higher purpose, leaving behind a version of yourself that is stronger, more focused, and more aligned with the purpose you are meant to fulfill. At the beginning of this journey, you may not fully recognize the significance of the changes you are going through. In fact, you may resist them because personal transformation, especially the kind that comes with an anointing, is rarely comfortable. It's often a process of discomfort, confusion, and even pain. Transformation is not always a smooth process, and it rarely follows a straight line. It involves periods of growth that are sometimes disguised as setbacks, moments of weakness that reveal newfound strength, and challenges that force you to confront the deepest parts of yourself. However, this intense transformation is a necessary part of the anointing that is on your life. You cannot move into your next level of greatness without first undergoing the process of growth and change that comes with being dangerously anointed. One of the first signs of this intense transformation is a shift in your mindset. The anointing begins to change the way you think. You will no longer look at the world in the same way. Your perceptions will be altered, and you will find that you no longer think about problems in the same manner. Where others may see barriers, you will begin to see opportunities. Where others see impossibilities, you will see possibilities. The anointing expands your vision and gives you the ability to think beyond your current reality. You will start to imagine a future that is greater than anything you have ever experienced, and this vision will pull you forward even when the present moment feels overwhelming or unclear. This new mindset is not just about positive thinking, it is a radical reordering of how you view the world, your circumstances, and your own potential. It is a paradigm shift that unlocks your ability to achieve things you once thought were out of your reach. As this transformation unfolds, you will also begin to notice that your emotions and reactions to situations will change. The anointing works deeply within your heart, gradually purging emotional wounds and transforming the way you respond to the people and situations around you. Where you once may have been driven by fear, insecurity, or anger, you will begin to operate from a place of peace, confidence, and clarity. The intense personal transformation that comes with the anointing forces you to address the emotional baggage that you may have carried with you for years. It exposes the places where you have been wounded and reveals the areas where you have allowed bitterness, unforgiveness, or hurt to take root. Through this process, you are given the opportunity to heal, to let go of the past, and to move forward in freedom. This emotional transformation is just as crucial as the intellectual and spiritual shifts you will experience, because it clears the path for you to fulfill your purpose with a pure heart and a stable mind. The most powerful part of this transformation, however, is the change in your character. The anointing is not about external accomplishments or external success. It is about internal change, the development of your character to match the calling you have on your life. God does not give his anointing to people who are not willing to be refined, reshaped, and molded into the people they need to become in order to carry out their purpose. Character is the bedrock of your ability to carry the weight of your anointing. It is through this internal transformation that you become the person who is able to steward the gifts, talents, and responsibilities that come with your calling. This transformation of character often happens in stages. Initially, the process may feel as though everything about you is being shaken. You may feel unsettled or unsure about who you are and what your future holds. But this feeling of instability is temporary, a necessary part of the transformation that must take place. The anointing will take you through periods where you feel like you are being broken down in order to be built up again. But this breaking is not a sign of defeat, it is a sign of preparation. It is through this breaking process that you begin to let go of old habits, old ways of thinking, and old ways of acting that do not align with the person you are becoming. The old version of you must die in order for the new version to rise, stronger and more capable than ever before. This process often involves stripping away things that once gave you comfort and security but ultimately held you back. As you go through this transformation, you may find that certain relationships, environments, and behaviors no longer resonate with who you are becoming. These may be relationships that once brought you comfort but now feel toxic or draining. The places that once felt safe may now feel limited. You may even find that your desires, your goals, and your passions shift over time, leaving behind the things you once held dear but are no longer relevant to the person you are becoming. This is not a loss, it is a gain. These shifts represent the breaking of old patterns and the opening up of new, more aligned pathways. This personal transformation is not a one-time event, it is a continuous journey. As you step into greater levels of responsibility and purpose, you will encounter new levels of personal transformation that continue to stretch you and refine you. The deeper you go into your anointing, the more you will be challenged to grow and evolve. It is through this ongoing transformation that you begin to realize the full potential of the anointing on your life. You cannot remain the same and expect to walk in the fullness of your purpose. You cannot carry the weight of your calling without first being transformed. The greater the anointing, the greater the transformation that is required. One of the most difficult aspects of this transformation is learning to trust the process. When you are in the middle of personal upheaval, it can be hard to see the bigger picture. When everything in your life feels uncertain, it is easy to doubt whether the transformation you are going through is leading to something good. However, as you move through this process, you will begin to understand that every challenge, every change, and every moment of discomfort is part of the preparation for what is to come. It is important to remember that transformation is a process of refinement, not instant perfection. The anointing will not only break you down, it will build you up in ways you cannot yet comprehend. The end result of this intense transformation will be a version of yourself that is far more capable, far more empowered, and far more aligned with your divine purpose than the person you were before. Ultimately, the intense personal transformation that comes with being dangerously anointed is a gift. It is a process of moving from who you are to who you are meant to be. It is the divine shaping of your character, mind, and heart to carry the weight of your calling and purpose. It is through this transformation that you will be prepared for the incredible things that await you. Though the journey may be difficult at times, remember that the person you are becoming is worth the process. This transformation is not just about you, it is about the greater purpose you are called to fulfill. And it is in this purpose that your true greatness lies.